If you love America, you're among friends here.
You're tuned in to Rebooting Liberty.
Have you ever wanted to have your own radio show? Rebooting Liberty Radio Network currently has openings for live programs. For a very small fee, we will create a show intro, bumper music, and provide technical production for your hour-long show. Email producer@rebootingliberty.com for details. You can find us at live.rebootingliberty.com.
Welcome to Commonsense Coalition Talk Radio, where you'll find straight talk from people with good old common sense.
I trust your opinion.
And now, for your host, she's putting sense back into nonsense.
Absolute insanity.
Well, you can hear me on the radio. You want to turn me on, turn on your stereo. You can sing along while they're playing our song. How you done me wrong, baby, crank it up.
And now, your host, Beth Ann.
And I welcome you today to CSC Talk Radio. It's my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to be here with you. As always, it's my pleasure to be here with you. And I have with us today one of our special favorite guests. This is one of our favorite guests. I know that my audience, I know that you just love her. And it's CJ Hadley with Range Magazine. And the Range Magazine is they're just racking up all the awards, and I'm just so proud to be affiliated with you. CJ, welcome to CSC Talk Radio again today.
Well, my goodness, Beth, I am your fan, madam.
Well, Monday we're going to have to meet.
Yes, I know. You are so far away from me.
I know, and you're a long way from Missouri, you know, but we do have things called cars and planes and trains, and one of these days we'll get her done.
I think that'd be lovely.
Yeah, I think it would be, too. I think you could teach me a thing or two. I'd love to come out there.
You're welcome in the high desert anytime.
Oh, I would love it. I've not been there. I've been to Colorado, but I've not been where you are. So
there's nothing quite like Nevada.
It's beautiful country, I hear. And I can see in some of the pictures.
Yeah, well, Range shows a lot of pictures of a lot of the western states. We go pretty much across the country now, but mostly west of the Mississippi. But the things that affect our readers and the good people who produce something, like food producers, loggers, miners, they're being kind of abused everywhere from east to west. And a lot of the stories in Range relate to people on the East Coast.
And, you know, I'm probably the only talk show that really is an advocate for what I call rural America. But it's for the ranchers and the farmers and the producers and small businesses. And like you said, those who produce something. And
we definitely will in line on that. We do exactly the same thing you do, except on print instead of on the air.
And you know, it's a forgotten part of the United States, or an abused part of the United States, and most people really don't know what's going on. But what happens on the ranch, out on the range, or on the farm, or in the logging mines, or in the mines, whatever, it affects all America. The small businesses, when they can't make a living, it affects all of America. Those are our jobs. That's our food. That is how we exist here in the United States. And it's kind of forgotten and taken for granted. Maybe I should say taken for granted. I think we think about it every time we put food in our mouths, but we don't think about where it came from.
I know, but the suffering that's happening in rural America is caused by urban America and the politicians and, you know, the people who think they know everything, which is what you've been doing for years. It's a sad state of affairs, and we're trying in our way to spread the word on the reality of what's happening to the good guys, and we're also covering the issues that are absolutely devastating, destroying, hurting families, and sometimes something good happens from it. And at the same time, while we're wrapping all that politics and reality and the sadness of what's happening to the United States, we put a lot of good stuff in Range, a lot of great photos, a lot of good stories, and you can enjoy it as well as learn something.
Something for everyone. plus an education, but it's something for everyone. You've got poems, you've got heart-rendering stories, those warm fuzzies that we all like, that have, they're just good. They're about good people, about hard work, and that's what makes America what it was one day. Or as the politician likes to say, makes it great. That's what makes America great. It's the people. It's not the politicians. It's not the policies. It's the people.
It's somebody wrote a letter that I think it might be in the current issue, and it said, "Thank you for the decades of honest, high-quality journalism documenting the plight of those on the front lines of saving our food, fiber, and means of survival and self-sufficiency for future generations." That came out of Arizona. There's another little old guy in Texas. He said, "Robert loves range, jealously guards every issue until he has absorbed every thought, word, and photo."
Well, they're so beautiful.
That's pretty tough for Robert to read from front to back. There's, sometimes people get a little angry with me. I don't think I'm much of Senator Harry Reid in Washington doesn't like me much, and the animal rights people don't like me much. Humane Society of the United States doesn't like me much. Rabid left-wingers don't like me much, and I am a Democrat. So, yeah, I understand I understand both sides, but I just love rural America and what the people are doing, and we cover it the best we can. We don't have much of a staff, but the labor that goes into it is pretty significant. Another letter I got, which I really enjoyed, you might like. I'm not a drinker, but
okay.
This lady from California wrote, and she said, "Still miss Nevada and still wonder where our strong leadership has gone. I'm 89, and once in a while I need a shot of Jack Daniels." I got a kick out of that old lady. Her husband is a saddle maker who used to advertise with us, and they're still making saddles and working, at pretty much the age of 90. And these are the people I absolutely adore.
You said that you're a Democrat. Well, I guess I'm registered Republican, but I get mad at both parties because I think, like you, it's not about the party. It's about the people. It's about what's going on in the United States. It's about property. We're supposed to own property, but we own very little to nothing in this country anymore. I wrote an article, and it's been published a couple of times, called The Land of Pretending, because that's what we do. We live in this land of pretending. We think we own something, but we really don't.
That's the truth.
And that's sad.
We've got to change that. We've got to come back to the way it was supposed to be. We've got to follow the Constitution, do very simple things. We have a section in Range called Amazing Facts and Quotes, and the main one this time was about the pioneers coming west in 1849. And this quote came out of a diary by Joseph Goldsboro Bruce, and it's a very simple sentence. And I wish people on their little cell phones and all gadgets today would just think of this sentence. Quote, "Captured several fat black mice and had a pie." Unquote. That was what happened that day on the Oregon Trail. I mean, there's no reality out there. A lot of people are spoiled, and they don't get the fact that they're self-destructing, committing suicide, and this country is too beautiful to be let go now. Too beautiful. So
they were keeping a journal, and that was what happened that day, and they were probably tuckered out, and that's all they wrote down.
They got lucky. They were eating. A lot of people are saying how many animals were out here, and but the Indians were, they had nothing to eat. They were starving to death when the pioneers were coming through, and the ranchers and the farmers and the loggers and the miners, they have made a vast difference to these rural areas. Sometimes it's still 90 miles between towns. I know if you're in downtown Nashville, you probably could not even fathom what it feels like out here to drive on Highway 50, which Life magazine called the loneliest road in America, and it's 300 miles from Carson to Ely. And one time I went out there, on the highway itself, I think I saw 5 cars. What a treat that is, Beth. How lovely. And the other thing that's really beautiful, there's only one highway patrolman for about 200 square miles.
Oh, be careful. You're talking about family.
If you see the highway patrolman, you can pretty well, ride pretty good after that.
Yeah, you do. You have a different attitude when you see him on the road. I've got a son as one here in the state of Missouri, so I have to totally. I kid him every now and then. I say, "Well, what a patrolman does when he pulls his mother over?" And he goes, "No." I said, "He calls for backup." He didn't.
I like it.
Well, anyway, I was going to say that there was a gentleman one time that I had interviewed regarding another topic altogether, but they were talking about the overpopulation. And he said, you know what? If it's overpopulated where you are, move. And that's what you described just then. You know, you could go for how many hours without seeing very many cars. We're going into a break. I do want to talk about Range Magazine when we come back. And we'll talk about the article you have about ignoring the rule of law and the wild horses. You're listening to CSC Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann. I have CJ Hadley of Range Magazine with us. You can visit their website by going to rangemagazine.com or give them a call at 1-800-726-4348 or talk to CJ right here, right now at 877-895-5410. That's 877-895-5410. And CJ and Beth Ann will be right back. Gold and silver have been the foundation of wealth for individuals and nations the world over. The history of man is packed with coins, jewelry, and artifacts that have spoken to the intrinsic value esteemed in gold and silver due to their rarity, durability, and usefulness. I'm proud to call Melody Cedarstrom a friend and honor Discount Gold and Silver Trading is a loyal sponsor of CSC Talk Radio, a Christian company founded on the principles of truth and honesty. Melody provides quality products, quality service, and competitive pricing. Let Melody's over 20 years of experience in gold and silver trading be your investment guide. From precious metals purchases to precious metals IRA. Whether you want to buy or sell, Melody and her team at Discount Gold and Silver will assist you and make sure you get the best deals possible. Call Melody and tell her thank you for sponsoring CSC Talk Radio, and then let her know you want her to be your gold and silver dealer. Visit Melody online at dgscoins.com or just give her a call at 1-800-375-4188. That's 1-800-375-4188.
Did you know that whether you're making a phone call, texting a friend, or checking email, you can be making a difference for CSC Talk Radio? That's right. When you sign up for wireless service from our friends at Affinity 4, not only do you receive affordable rate plans with nationwide coverage on one of America's largest wireless networks, you'll also be supporting CSC Talk Radio through Affinity 4's Give Back program. Affinity 4 Wireless offers a variety of phones from leading manufacturers, and you can choose from individual and shared plans to meet your needs. And you can keep your same phone number. Call 1-800-311-2021 today and let the Affinity 4 customer service team help you select the best plan and phone for your needs. And remember, when you sign up for any of Affinity 4's products and services, a portion of the proceeds will be donated back to CSC Talk Radio. Don't wait. Call today, 1-800-311-2021, and ask about their current wireless promotions, including a free month of service and free phone offers. That's 1-800-311-2021.
You stroll out to the barn to check on those calves, kids, or lambs, and at first glance, you know something is not right. A weak kid, a calf who cannot nurse, or a ewe who does not have enough colostrum for her newborn lambs. Your role switches from caretaker to rescuer. In these situations, minutes count. Having the right products on hand is vitally important. Visit the animal care category at HambyDairySupply.com to stock up on your medical needs. At Hamby Dairy Supply, they understand because their family has been raising livestock since 1954. With their years of experience, they can help you with your needs, including planning for those livestock emergencies. Visit HambyDairySupply.com for colostrum, Energy Plus energy supplements, Formula 911, and Arrest Drench products. Stock up today and be prepared. HAMBY DairySupply.com or give them a call at 1-800-306-8937. And we have returned to listening to CSC Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann. I'm visiting today with CJ Hadley of Range Magazine. You know, I gave your office number, and people probably think, well, what am I calling there for? And so I thought maybe we better give our specials real quick before we get into the article, because that's gonna take us a little while to talk about what all's going on there in Nevada with the wild horses. But let's give your special offers for the listeners today.
What's happening, Range was started a long time ago by 5 ranches connected to 5 states, and I own and run the magazine now, but this is our 25th anniversary, so
Awesome.
a subscription normally is get quarterly issues, 4 issues for $19.95. A calendar, real Buckaroo calendar, is $12.95, and we've got a gorgeous bunch of hardback books, absolutely
yes.
beautiful. And for $40, we're going to give them a subscription, a calendar, and a book. And the choice of book could be a Buffalo Bill book, Brushstrokes and Balladeers, Go West, which is a fabulous photo book. All I got to do is call 1-800-RANGE 4U, number 4-letter U, which is 726-4348, and just decide what free book you want.
And they're beautiful. Every one of them are beautiful. And we're going to talk about the newest one here in just a little bit. But every one of them are beautiful. And, you know, that's what's amazing is quarter after quarter, year after year. I don't know how often you put the books out. I know I've got several of them. And, you know, they're each one unique. They're each one beautiful. And the magazine, when the articles come out, the one with the wild horses is just full of pictures. I mean, every one of them has something beautiful in it. Even if you don't like what's going on within the article, the illustrations and the things that come along with the magazine are just gorgeous. CJ, you just do an awesome job. I don't know how you put it all together.
Well, there are a lot of writers, photographers, illustrators, painters who are of the same mind as you and I. And they are with us in this cause to, make us stronger, keep us better, have more people get opportunity. And so they are very generous with their talents, and they share it with Range, and I am so appreciative. The other thing is I got to correct one thing really quickly. I said I was a Democrat. I want to say I'm a registered Democrat because I love to get fodder from Hillary Clinton and Obama. I like to read it. I use it in the magazine sometimes against them. But anyway, it's kind of fun. Haven't been able to vote for one for a while, but maybe I will soon. Who knows? One day,
and several times I have said on the air that I know that there are people like you, registered Democrats, people like me who are registered Republicans, there are registered Libertarians, there are registered Independents, there are registered just whatever party that really do care about what's going on in this country and really are concerned about the infractions that we the people have become the enemy of the state. And this is a good article about this, Ignoring the Rule of Law. And it's by Rachel Dahl. Is that how you say her name, or Dahl?
Dahl.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit because, horses are kind of near and dear to everybody's heart. But sometimes things go on that we just need to know about.
There are very few beasts in the world as extraordinary as a horse. And the amount of what horses have given to the world for centuries, decades, hundreds, thousands of years is brilliant. And so everybody has a soft spot for horses. And the one who have the biggest soft spots are the ones that still use them, which are the cowboys.
That's right.
But the thing is, with the killing of the slaughterhouse closing, thanks to the environmental community, there is a very, very grave problem with horses. There are too many. And a lot of them are sitting in pastures, probably alone, never do any work, would rather like to do it. But in the West, it's terrible because a lot of people the ranchers leave their horses out on the open range. They breed. The herds double in size every 4 years. So whereas in 1971, Nevada had about between 7,000 and 10,000 horses, and the Wild Free-Roaming Horses and Burros Act was passed in 71 to protect the wild horse. Alleged wild horse, we call them feral horses here. But anyway, they were supposed to be kept in the same areas and in the same numbers since 1971. Well, since that time, 250,000 horses have been adopted out. More than 50,000 are in holding facilities and ranches and farms, and the people, of course, are paid per horse to keep these horses. They're unwanted excess horses. And they just sit there, and the taxpayer pays, I believe it's about $70 million a year just to feed them.
Yes.
And it's ridiculous. And every time in Nevada we try and make a gather, the do-gooders put a lawsuit on them to prevent the gather. Now, a lot of these areas have herd management areas and animal management level. So they say in one valley in Nevada, it's got enough forage, food and water for 106 head of horses. Well, when there are 1,000 head of horses, where the 106 horses is what their forage allows, you got a problem. You've got horses hungry, you've got horses thirsty, you've got cattle and sheep displaced because that would be their normal range. And there's very few people who understand federal lands ranching. But what happens with federal lands ranchers is they own rights on the federal lands, and they've had them, for 150 years, some of these families, way before Forest Service and BLM was started. So they own the forage, they own the ditch rights, they own the water, they have all the water, they own the water rights. And so these horses, the only animal that we know that is unmanaged, they just keep increasing until we've got so many that nothing else can survive. And just in the last few months, and connected to this ignoring the rule of war law that Rachel Dahl wrote, there was an emergency gathering in Clark County about 6 weeks ago, and the horses were so emaciated and so sick. I mean, no flesh on them, hardly. The skin was just wrapped around their ribs, and they euthanized 28 horses that could barely walk. And now there's a big hue and cry from the do-gooders that said, we could have saved them. Well, why didn't they save the other 250,000 that we've already moved out? The other thing is in Eureka County, the guy who is in this story, Kevin Borba, who came out to Nevada from California to be a rancher, he's supposed to have 500 head of cattle on one range and 400 on another, and the BLM is allowing him 100 and 106, something like that. Yeah. Well, he can't keep his family alive with the amount of cows that he can run because there are so many horses. They just keep cutting the cowboys. Well, the cowboys do good for the treasury, for the rural communities, for food production. I mean, they do so much good, it's extraordinary. And everything is backwards and upside down. Now, on Kevin Borba's range in Eureka County, just a week or two, I believe, after they euthanized 28 horses in Vegas, north of Vegas, they actually took a huge machine and dug graves for horses on the federal land in the pinyon juniper, and they buried, and we're not sure how many, they say about 80 or 100 head of horses, and you can see some of the tails above the dirt, and you can see the shape of the horse's hips, and it's just a travesty. And the reason that was done is they dehydrated, they died out there, a horrible death. And yet these do-gooders, animal rights, the Cloud Foundation, Wild Horse Advocates, Sheryl Crow, Willie Nelson, Ed Harris, all these people who should know better are destroying the lives of the horses and also the people who have, need this range to function.
Well, and as the horse herds grow in number, they're allowed less and less cattle on the range. Is that correct?
Correct. There's about half as many out on the ranges as the early 70s, and it's pretty grim. It's very grim.
So as once again, there is lack of management and lack of true management, then they turn around and they punish the rancher or the farmer, and his livelihood becomes less and less because they have to protect the wild horses.
Absolutely. There's a lot of groups whose sole purpose is to destroy cattle ranching in the West. Western Watersheds Project in Idaho. I mean, it's on their website. Get rid of all of these, welfare ranchers, and the last thing in the world is their welfare ranchers. And also Center for Biological Diversity. They just want everything for a tortoise. And, remember the Bundy story?
Oh, yes.
Where, armed ATF guys and BLM with very heavy weaponry arrived close to Las Vegas to get rid of Clive and Bundy. And they were saying that was because of the desert tortoise. Well, Center for Biological Diversity has been destroying ranches in the name of that little beast for decades. And there are now so many desert tortoises that BLM has been euthanizing them as well. So does this make any sense to anybody?
It makes perfect sense because it has nothing to do with the tortoise. It has everything nothing to do with controlling the land and everything to do with controlling the people and taking the land. It's land grabbing, pure and simple. We're going into a break, CJ. Your calls are welcome at 877-895-5410. I had somebody throw up a message on Facebook. CJ says, I hope I can listen Without interruptions, I so admire C.J. Hadley. 877-895-5410 is the number to call. And you can visit the website for Range Magazine by just going to rangemagazine.com or give them a call in the office at 1-800-726-4348. Tell them you want the special from CSC Talk Radio. 877-895-5410 is the number to call, and we will be right back. Alexis de Tocqueville once stated, "America is great because she is good. If America ceases to be good, America will cease to be great." To know where we are going, we must remember from whence we came. Looking back in our American history, we can see the hand of God. He wrought many miracles in our nation and brought us through much to be a nation under Him, a nation under God. We've forgotten from whence we came. America has lost her greatness. America ceases to be good because we've forgotten our God, who is all that is good. Sue and Bill Federer have compiled 32 truths, which in our history show the hand of God, His answered prayers, His miracles, and His mercy on our nation. For only $22, Miracles in American History will encourage and uplift you. Order Miracles in American History. Send $22 to CSC Talk Radio, Post Office Box 73, California, Missouri 65018, or order online at csctalkradio.com.
Going once, going twice, sold to the highest bidder. Has the U.S. been sold out by those we've trusted to guard, protect, and help this nation prosper? Selling U.S. Out is a nonpartisan examination of the trade and economic policies that brought about the current economic crisis. It is receiving great reviews from Americans across the social and political spectrum. Beth is proud to call J.R. Martin a friend, and she's thrilled he's provided his book for you. CSC Talk Radio listeners, we speak about communism, socialism, but what about corporatism greed? What did free trade accomplish? NAFTA? GATT? CAFTA? Why is American productivity and our own industries failing? Why are we losing American businesses and American jobs? J.R. Martin has generously made his book available so that Beth can offer it to you at a discounted price. Nearly 400 pages packed with powerful information and years of research. We have to know the truth in order to turn this mess around. Send $15 to P.O. Box 73, California, Missouri 65018. That's selling U.S. out. $15 to P.O. Box 73, California, Missouri 65018.
Dr. Michael Kaufman isn't holding back, but speaking the truth. Truth is tough, and we have a lot to learn here. Radical Islam is not knocking on our door, but is in the house, and a very real threat to America. What is Islam, and what is the true belief of those? Are they all radicals? Is there a soft side to Islam? Dr. Kaufman's book is a quick study and will reveal much to you, helping all of us understand the threat of Islam to our United States of America and our American way of life. We are/were a Christian nation. Why are our leaders denying this? Is there a plan to take America for the global Islamic State? Yes. Order now. $13.99 includes shipping and handling. P.O. Box 73, California, Mo. 65018. Or order online at csctalkradio.com. Oh, one more thing. This book is made in the USA. Order your copy today of Radical Islam in the House. Only $13.99.
A girl needs accessories. So does a website these days. It's not enough to have just one accessory either. CSC Talk Radio is excited to announce we have an app for that. You can now listen to CSC Talk Radio easily on your smartphones, Android or iPhone. We have an app for that. Share this app-portant news with your friends and family. They can now join in the Common Sense. Calling all patriots. We have an app for that. Visit csctalkradio.com and download the app. Listen to live streaming or the show's podcast, designed for Triple L. Listening later leisurely. Accessories are necessary. Join CSC Talk Radio on your phone. We've accessorized. Visit csctalkradio.com and download the app. Working with technology to bring America home. We have an app for that. csctalkradio.com. csctalkradio.com.
returned. You're listening to CSC Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann. I have in my hand, and it's Freedom of the Press is a major editorial recognition awarded for upholding the principles of the First Amendment and protecting the public's right to know. Range received its third consecutive Freedom of Press Award based on the coverage of the Cliven Bundy standoff, which took place in the desert northeast of Los Angeles. Although Las Vegas. I'm looking at Las Vegas, saying Los Angeles. Although the standoff drew a great deal of media attention, including National Range's 4-part special report, patterns of harassment went further than just reporting the what, the when, and the how. Range focused on the big picture of the why. You know, you just keep getting all kinds of accolades, and you deserve it very much. I know it's been a long ride. When you talk about 25 years, I'm going on just 5 years on the air by myself. and you know, it's a long road that you just go one day at a time, and you keep praying, and you keep pushing forward, and you keep fighting the good fight.
You know, that patterns of harassment, the major part of the Bundy story was written by Vince Saprinowicz, who's an award-winning journalist, a real journalist from Las Vegas, and he got thrown out of his newspaper because they said he was too conservative. Anyway, he did a brilliant job, but winning freedom of the press, when we are an advocate for food producers and other resource providers, and we're not what you would call a journalist, it's absolutely fabulous that we could pull off such a thing. The year before, we won for coverage of the of climate change and Agenda 21, thanks to Tom DeWeese and Mike Hoffman, who I'm sure your listeners know.
Yes.
And the year before that, we won Freedom of the Press for 3 different features on Hage versus United States, federal takings case, which has been going on for more than 30 years. And the Hage case is coming up, I hope, for the last time in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which is a dreadful court, in the second week of December. And I'm hoping to go down there with the Hage family to see what the federal court is going to do to the Hages.
Please keep me informed about that, because I really want to know.
You'll need to get Ramona Hage on the air after that to see what's going on, but
Absolutely.
I will let you know. But those 3 stories it made my heart bleed, and it was agony putting it together, cost a fortune to put the pages together, and all of those stories are available at rangemagazine.com. You go to back issues or special reports, and anybody can read all that for free, obviously. So we do spread the stories as far and wide as we possibly can.
And your books are doing well, too.
We publish a book every year because the subscriptions cannot pay for the magazine. And the book actually makes a tiny little profit, which is lovely. And so I'm on my 13th hardback book for Range, and it's good news about food producers. Some of them are photo books. Some of them are... I did 2 painters and poets book. It's like 200 years of paintings and poets of the American West. Actually, there's Australians, Englishmen, and even James Joyce from Ireland in some of the books. But anyway, it's kind of fun. And the painters and let me see, what do I have in this room? I have 100 cowboy poems from 53 poets in Reflections of the West, Cowboy Painters and Poets. That's the title. And I've got 115 paintings from 30 artists in that book, too. 160-page book, a tribute to these incredible people who care so much about the West. You know, they just do it in their own way. And every page offers something different, like fun or agony or whatever.
Well, and I've got something here I wanted to read, and this is coming out of your book, Reflections of the West. It's Cowboy Riding. I've rode where it's wet. I've rode where it's dry. I've rode the low country and also the high. I've rode for big outfits as well as for small. I've rode horses short, and I've rode horses tall. But riding, that's riding, old cowpunchers claim. On ranch and on range is a heap more in a game. And that's just the first part of that particular poem. But I love poetry, so you really kind of capture me.
Oh, it's fabulous. And then, there's really tiny ones. Carolyn Dufresne is an excellent writer. She's a geologist, a high school principal, and a rancher as well. And she wrote a little tiny thing called Between Brandings. And it says, ibuprofen in early times, a frozen slab of home-cured bacon wrapped in a clean white T-shirt, tucked in the hollow of your back, dulls the knife wedged between your lumbar vertebra. Not like cortisone, not like surgery, not going to town for a while. Her husband bucked off, and he could barely walk, and she wrote that little poem as he staggered back to the house, you know.
Amazing.
I know that's kind of sad, but it's funny as well.
Well, you know, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of physical work that goes into ranching and taking care of the animals. You know, we were talking about the wild horses, and you know, it started out in that story where the actual rancher is taking care of a horse that is in trouble. I don't know how else to put it. The horse is in trouble, and he takes care of it, and then he gets in trouble for taking care of it.
That was a little Mustang that was dehydrated. It was Kevin Borber, and he brought it home, but he called the BLM and reported it immediately, what he'd done. The animal rights activist went after him and said he should be under arrest for messing with a wild horse, which he's not allowed. And then this little horse was named Sarge, and it went online, and it got to be Mr. Ed. And this little horse, they were putting words in his mouth, and he was really causing a complete uproar. Anyway, he went to the sale, the BLM sale, and some woman went online, and she asked people to help pay for this horse, and she got the horse. They paid more than $14,000 for a little stud that rancher saved, and then he was supposed to be put under arrest for saving it. So they paid $14,000 thanks to a lot of twits online. And then it turns out the woman doesn't have a trailer, and she's got nowhere to put Sarge. So now she's looking for a rancher so that this horse can go out and be a wild horse and have mane and tail running in the wind. I mean, where is the rationale or the intelligence on this story?
And talk about circular reasoning.
I know. When I saw the front page of the Reno paper saying this horse that Kevin Borber, just was the kindness of his heart. He didn't want to see the guy, lay down in the ditch. And actually, he got that horse right off Highway 50, the one I mentioned earlier, the loneliest road in America. And there was that poor little stud horse, not even a year old. And now he's worth $14,000. It beats the hell out of me what all this means.
Well, you get mad at the rancher for saving the horse, and then you sell it online, and then you go, I need a rancher to take care of this horse.
I know. They also have on record that Kevin Borber has on his phone, he recorded it. Somebody left a message that said, you die if the horses aren't released, when they, did an emergency gather. And, of course, now they're buried with their tails above the dirt. So I can't. The rationale is it's just sick out here. It's really sick.
Well, and it is everywhere. We're fighting, HSUS, we're fighting the BLM, all the alphabet bureaucrats, and it just goes on and on and on, and it's across this nation. And now we see this, the terror threats that are plaguing the world. But the terror that's reaping across this nation is big government, and the people have become the enemy of the state. When you listen to Barack Obama or some of these other politicians, Hillary Clinton, she claimed her biggest enemy, the biggest threat to America, is the Republican Party. Well, I can't resist Hillary or Barack Obama. I hang on every word because it's so incomprehensible what they're saying. I have to know what I'm fighting. There's a story in the same issue, Destruction of the West, and the subtitle is, the more the West burns, the more money the agencies get, and the more lives and livelihoods are ruined. Isn't that amazing?
And this year, September, October, August, and September, there were so many fires that started due to lightning strikes, and they were first on the scene are always the ranchers, and the ranchers can usually knock them down, like if a lightning hits a tree or some brush or something, And what happens is the BLM comes in while the ranchers have got it under control, and then they say, we got it. And one example, the Soda Fire in Owyhee County, Idaho, it says the dedicated ranchers are volunteers, blah, blah, blah. The ranchers stayed on the fire for 36 hours, containing it to 640 acres. Then the BLM arrived to mop up, assuring the volunteers the fire was out and they could go back to ranch work. A few hours later, the fire blew up and devastated more than 285,000 acres. They had it controlled at 640. There was one in Oregon.
We're heading into a break, so we're going to have to talk about that when we come back. We're heading into a break. Your calls are welcome. I think you've just got them sitting on the edge of their seat today. 877-895-5410. And CJ and Beth Ann will be right back.
All you a David? There are wolves, sheep, and sheepdog, and then there are shepherds. Just as young King David faced the impossible battle with the feared giant Goliath, we face giants today as well. Do we run or do we stand our ground? Our federal government is the epitome of corruption. Abuse of power and deceit have enslaved we the people. Property rights are non-existent. Gun owners are treated as terrorists. Citizens are plundered and reaped of rights and liberties. Is there a solution? Yes. You are the solution. You, the patriotic, the local peace officer. You, the elected official, the county sheriff. You must stand with faith, humility, and the strength of a warrior, as young David did. You are the solution. Order the book, Are You a David by Sheriff Mack. Go to csctalkradio.com or send $15 to P.O. Box 73, California, Missouri 65018. Be a shepherd in your community. csctalkradio.com. Hear ye, hear ye. The Pen is here. News hot off the presses. The Pen is the bi-monthly newsletter for CSC Talk Radio. Beth Ann and friends have packed it with information you won't read in the paper from the corner newsstand. News, opinions, and insights, all packed into this economical read. Just $24.95 will buy you 6 issues yearly. Common sense is what we speak, and it's also what we write. The Pen is a compilation of many writers we know you're going to enjoy. The news these days isn't easy to digest, but it is necessary to keep informed, and that is what we at CSC Talk Radio strive to do, serving listeners in every way. Order your subscription today. Send $24.95 to CSC Talk Radio, P.O. Box 73, California, Missouri 65018. Keep informed. Send $24.95 to P.O. Box 73, California, Missouri 65018, and request your subscription to the Pen today.
BioAg, working with nature naturally. Murray Bast has been my guest several times here on CSC Talk Radio. You know now he's devoted to helping farmers and ranchers. Murray is my common sense voice for improved agriculture. Farmers and ranchers are vital to any nation. Our food and how it's grown is more than just planting a seed, slopping the hogs, or feeding the cows. There's a science to it, and it takes a special kind of people. Since 1982, their mission has been to produce and supply products and services that warrant and support true sustainable agriculture. BioAg is a major supplier of natural products and services for livestock and crop production. Become a BioAg distributor. BioAg consultants and distributors are devoted. BioAg.com has all the products you need to improve your bottom line as well as improve your products and health. Visit bio-ag.com or call them at 1-800-363-5278. That's 1-800-363-5278.
CSC Talk Radio's goal is to bring America home. That includes you and your business. Radio is a powerful way to brand your company and increase your profits. Find out how to join CSC Talk Radio, help educate and activate America, and grow your business at the same time. Looking for new customers? Looking to have your business reaching out from sea to shining sea? Advertise with CSC Talk Radio. Believe in your product? Let Beth Ann be your personal spokesperson to properly brand your product and company. It's simple, easy, and affordable. Grow your business, grow common sense, and together we will bring America home. To be a part of CSC Talk Radio, call 573-796-2166. That's 573-796-2166. Or send email to beth@csctalkradio.com.
You're listening to CSC Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann. Before we get back into the situation with what happens with these fires and what happened in Oregon as well, I wanted to give your special out one more time because we'll run out of time. I know how you and I are. We'll run out of time. But she's offering you a special for $40. And I want to remind everybody that right now we're heading into Christmas. And this is an awesome, awesome thing to give for Christmas. You can give the whole kit and caboodle, $40. I mean, you can't hardly buy a gift for that anymore, CJ. And all that you're giving here is the Range Magazine subscription, one of the books, your choice, which one, and your calendar, which I just love looking at my calendar every day. The pictures are just beautiful on it, and it takes me back to a simpler life, you know. It takes you back down home on the range, so to speak, even though I wasn't ever a rancher. I was a farmer. I was married to a farmer. But, it's interesting that you have this, and it's coming into Christmas, and I just wanted to put that out there again. And so they can call 1-800-RANGE-4U. That's 1-800-726-4348. Go to the website and look at the books a little bit, and that's just rangemagazine.com. The phone number again is 1-800-726-4348. Now let's talk about again what's
really
happening.
Quick thing, Beth Ann.
Yes.
Reflections of the West, the new cowboy painters and poets book that just came out is $43 on bookstores, but it's $25 for our 25th anniversary today. Will Rogers, the gold medallion winner for best memoir, is The Ember by Harry Webb. That's $39. Usually they can get that for $20. It's a gorgeous book. They can get a calendar for $10 if they'd only want that. But there's plenty of offers, and the two ladies who work with me, the marvelous ladies, they'll give them all kinds of offers. Maybe they won't refuse, but I hope they'll call us.
All right, and what's 1-800-726-4348. That's 1-800-726-4348, and let them know you were listening to CJ and Beth Ann. So she'll know what's going on. Okay. Now, let's go back to the fires, because I find that so interesting. We are, like I said, we've become the enemy of the state. All of a sudden, these bureaucratic, alphabetic departments, they take over, and next thing you know, everything's burnt down.
I want to give you Judy Boyle wrote this brilliant story, and she's an assemblywoman for the state of Idaho, and just a great writer. The second paragraph of the story says, a lightning strike in Canyon Creek near John Day, Oregon, was fought by local ranchers to protect cattle, range, and private property. It was contained at 200 acres when the federal government took over. That fire threatened the towns of John Day and Prairie City, destroying ranches, 26 homes, cattle, and wildlife over 105,000 acres. Another one in New Meadows, Idaho, a lightning struck a large yellow pine. The federal agents called in to assess, and they said they didn't feel comfortable cutting it down, so they left. During the night, the tree burned in half, rolled down the mountain, spread the fire. The result was the teepee fire, 94,000 acres, which threatened the towns of Riggins and New Meadows, jumped the Big Salmon River, and trapped rafters upriver, obliterating valuable resources and wildlife. It goes on and on and on. Half of that U.S. Forest Service budget is spent on fire. They allow the fires to burn big. They call them mega fires, so then the federal money comes in. Meanwhile, everything is destroyed in the West. Even though there's a lot of grass out there due to spring rains, they won't increase the cattle numbers, even though they've been eliminating them year by year for 30 years. And what happens is that grass is fuel, and that's what sends these fires to just totally out of control. One quote from Chief Bosworth, who was the U.S. Forest Service chief in 2003, he says, quote, "We have some 73 million acres of national forest lands at risk from wildland fires that could compromise human safety and ecosystem integrity. The situation is simply not sustainable, not socially, not economically, not ecologically." Now, that was said by the Forest Service chief in 2003, and where are we now, 12, 13 years later, and still the same management is going on.
It's just absolutely absurd, and it's
9 million acres in 2 months.
It's just, and not only did it burn, the people need to understand it's ruined. It's just plain ruined, isn't it?
Well, if you like to see little fawns and deer and burned alive, and cattle burned alive, and their calves are about to be born, and you can see this absolute horror on charcoal landscape. It is the saddest thing you can possibly see.
And these are the same. These are the same bureaucratic departments that are supposed to be protecting those wildlife.
I know. Lord have mercy, please. We need help.
Well, awareness is the best thing we can do, and that's why we're here today, and that's why you put out Range Magazine. That's why you put out the books, and it's just so important that the American people actually know what's going on. They see those fires as they're reported on mainstream media, but they have no clue what's really going on. Where they show a smoky bear.
Yeah, but what they do is they don't tell what the cause of the fire is, which is lack of management and abuse by federal agents. If they would log the forests, spotted owl killed the logging industry. If they had been logging, it would be much less than this. If they would be cleaning.
They show Smokey Bear because they want to blame the American people. Somebody flicked a cigarette, or somebody didn't get a campfire put out, and that's what they blame. They blame the people. They don't blame the poor management and a lightning strike or the other things that take place that cause this because of poor management.
Yeah,
they don't want you to know that.
There's another fire story in this issue by Steve Rich from Utah. He's very good. And he actually got a fire of Smokey Bear sign in an Arizona forest on fire. So we have Smokey Bear on fire in this issue as well.
Well, there's irony for you.
Success of the Forest Service. There you go. Up in smoke.
There's irony for you. Well, I want to give the phone number one more time. We're just about out of time here for the day. The fastest hour of the day. And that is 1-800-726-4348. That's 1-800-RANGE, the number 4, you. 1-800-726-4348. You've got to tell the ladies there that you were listening to CJ and Beth Ann on the radio. And we'll get other calls later during the day because we'll be on some other stations that carry the show delayed. But you need to tell them you want the specials today, and she rattled them off pretty quick, but she's got all kinds of specials for you, and it's her 25th anniversary. By the way, congratulations on that. And the new book, I highly recommend all of the books. They're all wonderful, but the new book is right here in front of me, and it's I don't know how you do it, but each one of them is so beautiful, and I love poetry, and you've got poetry in most of them. Not all of them, but in most of them there's some poetry. Reflections of the West, Cowboy Painters, and Poets.
One last quote from a reader.
Absolutely.
He said, "Don't give up. The enemy is at the gates."
Oh, are they not?
Mm-hmm.
Are they not? And the enemy isn't all coming in as refugees. Some of them are here in D.C. occupiers.
Yes, Beth Ann.
I appreciate all that you do, CJ. Thank you so much for the support you've given to CSC Talk Radio and for being here. We need to have you on more often because you are truly one of the favorites of my listeners. Thank you so much for all you do, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You too.
It's going to take every single one of us. CJ is fighting. She's been fighting this for 25 years. You guys have been listening. It's time for us all to take action because it's going to take every single one of us, one by one, community by community, county by county, state by state, to bring America home.
BioEgg. From our small family-run business to you, we offer over 30 years of research and experience so deep and so vast that you are assured to improve your personal and professional farming operation with the very best of chelates, minerals, and vitamins, and to enhance the quality of life and well-being for your livestock, your crops, and your family. With our focus on truth, clarity, and experience in feed supplements, we can help you improve your bottom line with the best of advice in conventional, organic, GMO-free, and drug-free natural products based on decades of experience and absolute respect for time-tested agricultural and natural farming processes. We are serving all of North America. Visit our website at www.bio-ag.com or call us today at 1-800-363-5278. That's 1-800-363-5278.
Attention Americans with no health insurance. If you did not enroll under Obamacare, the deadline has passed and you could be liable for a tax penalty. There are affordable options available, but you need to act now. Call 800-212-4972. Health Markets Insurance Agency has thousands of options nationwide and can help you get the government subsidies you deserve to help lower the cost of health insurance. Under the law, if you have special qualifying events such as marriage, loss of job, or moving, you may still be entitled to Obamacare coverage. At Health Markets, our service is free, and we do the work to help you find the right coverage at a price that fits your budget. Call 800-212-4972 now. That's 800-212-4972. Health Markets Insurance Agency is the DBA or assumed name of Inspire Insurance Solutions Incorporated, which is licensed as an insurance agency in all 50 states and D.C. Service and product availability may vary. Agents may be compensated based on your enrollment in a health plan. HMIA 000365.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names.
Really?
They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
If you're struggling to find reliable senior living information for your mom or dad, then call to get the free help you need during this turbulent time. Call now, 800-473-7921. 800-473-7921.
You're listening to Rebooting Liberty Radio Network. Compelling and entertaining talk. Don't touch that dial.
Hey, liberals, why don't you try rooting for your own damn country for a change?